The Lakers' Last Stand, a recap of the 2001-2002 NBA season, the return of the King and the Zone. As the world looked for a return to normalcy in the fall of 2001, the NBA provided a distraction that felt like a fever dream. Michael Jordan was back. But this wasn't the red and black flight of the 90s. It was a 38-year-old MJ in a Wizards jersey, proving that even a human version of his airness was still must-see TV. While Jordan grabbed the headlines, the league itself was undergoing a tectonic shift. For the first time, zone defense was legal, a move designed to stop the isolation-heavy hitters and force the game to evolve. It was a year of tactical genius, a New Jersey turnaround, and a quest for a purple and gold three-peat, MJ in DC. Michael Jordan's return from a 3-year retirement was the biggest story in sports. Playing for the Washington Wizards, Jordan wasn't the high flyer of old, but he was still a master of the mid-range fadeaway. Before a knee injury slowed him down, he had the Wizards in playoff contention, even dropping 51 points against Charlotte at age 38. His presence proved that the Jordan brand transcended age and jersey colors, selling out arenas nationwide and providing a bridge between the legends of the past and the stars of the future. The legalization of the zone. The NBA made a massive rule change by eliminating illegal defense and allowing teams to play zone. This was a direct attempt to curb the era of clear-out isolations that had slowed the game's pace. Coaches now had to rethink their entire offensive and defensive schemes. It forced players to become better passers and shooters, as you could no longer just park a defender on the weak side. This rule change was the first real step towards the high-motion, three-point heavy offense we see in the modern era. Though in 2002, teams were still desperately trying to figure out how to crack the code. The Jason Kidd effect. In the summer of 2001, the New Jersey Nets traded Stephon Marbury for Jason Kidd, and the results were instantaneous. A 26-win team was transformed overnight into a 52-win juggernaut. Kidd's elite vision and pass-first mentality turned Kenyon Martin and Richard Jefferson into high-flying stars. The Nets became the most exciting fast-break team in the league, proving that a transformational point guard could change a franchise's DNA faster than a high-scoring wing. They surged to the top of the Eastern Conference, bringing a Showtime East flair to the Meadowlands. The fundamental MVP and practice. While the Lakers were the favorites, the regular season was a showcase for a big fundamental in Texas, and a legendary rant in Philadelphia that would live forever in internet history. Tim Duncan's first MVP. Tim Duncan took home his first MVP award in 2002, putting up a career-high 25.5 points and 12.7 rebounds per game. While Shaq and Kobe were flashier, Duncan was the model of consistent greatness. He led the Spurs to 58 wins, showcasing a bank shot-heavy game that was impossible to stop. Duncan's MVP win solidified him as the premier power forward in the league, a quiet superstar who let his rings and stats do the talking. He was the anchor of a Spurs culture that refused to fade away, remaining the primary threat to the Lakers dynasty. We're talking about practice. In May 2002, following a first-round exit, Allen Iverson delivered the most famous press conference in sports history. Frustrated by questions about his practice habits from coach Larry Brown, Iverson repeated the word practice over 20 times in a passionate, rambling defense of his commitment. While the media initially mocked him, the rant became a cultural touchstone, a symbol of Iverson's raw honesty and the tension between his individualistic spirit and the traditional coaching that existed in the league. For YouTube creators today, it remains the godfather of sports soundbites, with a legendary soundtrack to go with it. The Celtics resurrection. For the first time since the Larry Bird era, the Boston Celtics were a legitimate force. Led by the high-scoring duo of Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker, the dynamic duo of the East, the Celtics fought their way to 49 wins in the Eastern Conference Finals. Paul Pierce cemented his The Truth nickname with a series of clutch performances, including a massive 26-point comeback against the Nets in the playoffs. They brought a swagger back to the Garden, proving that one of the league's most storied franchises is finally out of its decade-long slump. The greatest series ever played? Forget the finals. The real 2002 championship happened in the Western Conference Finals. Lakers versus Kings was a 7-game heavyweight fight that many still call the best series in NBA history, and the most controversial. The greatest show on court, Pete. The Sacramento Kings finished with the best record in the NBA at 61-21, with Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, and Mike Bibby. They played a beautiful, high-post passing game that was the antithesis of the Lakers' power ISO style. They weren't just a team, they were a movement. The cowbells in Arco Arena were deafening, and for the first time it felt like the Lakers were legitimately outclassed. The Kings moved the ball with a telepathic telepathic connection, making the defending champs look slow and old for the first 3 games of the series. Robert Horry's Game 4 miracle. With the Lakers trailing 2-1 and down by 2 in the final seconds of Game 4, Vlade Divac swatted a missed layup out to the perimeter to kill the clock. Instead, the ball landed perfectly in the hands of Big Shot Bob Robert Horry. As the buzzer sounded, Horry drained a straightaway 3 that saved the Lakers' season. If he misses, the Lakers go down 3-1 and likely never see the finals. It remains one of the most clutch shots in history and a testament to the Lakers' championship DNA that allowed them to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. The Game 6 conspiracy. Game 6 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals remains the most scrutinized game in NBA history. The Lakers shot 27 free throws in the 4th quarter alone, while the Kings' big men were whistled for a barrage of fouls. Critics and former refs have pointed to this game as proof of league interference to force a Game 7. Whether you believe in the conspiracy or not, the officiating profoundly impacted the series, allowing the Lakers to force a deciding game back in Sacramento. It's a what-if that still haunts the city of Sacramento and fueled the rivalry for years. Game 7, the heartbreak. Despite the Game 6 drama, the Kings had a chance to win it all at home in Game 7. However, the pressure finally caught up to them. Sacramento shot a miserable 16 of 30 from the free throw line and missed multiple open looks in overtime. Shaq and Kobe remained poised, combining for 65 points to close out the series. The image of the Lakers celebrating on the Kings' floor while the cowbells went silent is one of the most striking visuals of the decade. The Lakers had survived their toughest test, but the basketball world knew the true champions were decided in that overtime thriller. The finals and the Three-Peat. After the war in the West, the NBA Finals felt like a victory lap. The New Jersey Nets were a great story, but they were running into a buzzsaw. Shaq's absolute dominance. Shaquille O'Neal treated the 2002 Finals like a personal playground, averaging 36 points and 12 rebounds. He was simply too big and too strong for Todd McCullough and the Nets' front line. Shaq became the first player to ever score at least 30 points in every game of a 4-game sweep. This was the peak Shaq era, a player who could dictate the entire geometry of the court just by standing in the paint. His dominance earned him his 3rd consecutive Finals MVP, a feat only matched by Michael Jordan. Kobe's ascendance. While Shaq was the brute force, Kobe Bryant was the surgical instrument. Kobe averaged 26.8 points and 5.8 rebounds in the Finals, including a masterful Game 3, where he took over late to snuff out a Nets comeback. This was the season where Kobe truly arrived as an equal partner to Shaq rather than a sidekick. He was 23 years old with 3 rings, drawing constant and justified comparisons to a young MJ. The dynamic duo had reached its absolute zenith, functioning with a level of chemistry that masked the growing personal friction behind the scenes. The sweep. The 2002 Finals were the last time in the NBA that we saw a clean 4-0 sweep until 2007. The Nets fought hard, particularly in Games 3 and 4, but they lacked the superstar scoring to match Los Angeles in winning time. The Lakers' experience in close games, honed by the fire of the Kings series, allowed them to stay calm during New Jersey's runs. By the time the final buzzer sounded in Game 4, the Lakers had cemented their place in history as only the 5th franchise to three-peat. It was a dominant, clinical end to a season that had been defined by chaos everywhere else. The 2002 draft, the Yao Ming arrival. The season concluded with a historic draft where the Houston Rockets selected Yao Ming with the #1 overall pick. Yao was the first international player to be taken first without having played U.S. college basketball. His arrival opened the floodgates for the NBA's massive expansion into the Chinese market, changing the league's global economics forever. While the 2002 season was about the Lakers' past, the 2002 draft was about the NBA's global future. The end of the dynasty. While the Lakers celebrated their three-peat, the cracks were becoming fissures. The tension between Shaq and Kobe was reaching a boiling point, and the rest of the league, led by the Spurs and the emerging Mavericks, was catching up. 2002 was the last time this version of the Lakers would lift the trophy. We look back at this season as the high watermark of one of the greatest duos in sports history. A year where they were pushed to the brink and responded with the heart of a champion. From MJ's comeback to the Lakers' coronation, 2002 was the year the NBA proved that even when the rules change, greatness finds a way. If you liked watching this video, make sure to subscribe and check out the rest of our NBA season recaps. Thank you.